How do you navigate the legalities of what your responsibility is as a software provider, procurer, developer? Do you have an attorney that you work with to help interpret some of this, or is that all AI, right? Because I know we all like to throw some contracts in AI, but how
That's
do we
right.
know that we're going down the right path with clients in the explanation of some of these obscure laws that are being passed?
That's a great question, Mark, and something that over the last 10 plus years we've had to help customers navigate. I think it's really important for a customer to have their own legal representation. We don't want to be giving them legal advice or using our lawyers. We want them to have their own counsel. We are working with them. We'll make them aware of issues that they need to consider and talk about with their lawyers. Sometimes we're working with companies that are trying to build apps in the gambling space.
Mm.
And obviously, there's a lot of regulations in that space that they need to consider. We've also had customers that we've been building more advanced technical solutions for will sometimes say, "Hey, have you checked for the patent status of this technology you're doing? Are you free of any patents that you might infringe upon?" More recently, things like HIPAA and other considerations like that. So we'll often make a customer aware that, hey, this is an area of technology that you need to be careful about and talk to your lawyer about. 80% of the time, they're a step ahead of us and know that. And 20% of the time, they're like, oh, that's a great
Great
point.
point, right?
We will talk to them. How about you? How do you guys handle that?
It's interesting. We get a lot of questions around the licensing of some of the open source that we use.
Okay.
For some reason, a lot of customers are hesitant, maybe not fully understanding what open source really means. And it
Mm-hmm.
really is dependent on the license type that the software is licensed under. So, like the MIT license is one of the ones that allows you
Yeah.
to use it at will. But there's others that are very restrictive and may, if used, actually require the client to expose all the source code that we wrote for them if they
Mm-hmm.
incorporate that piece of open source within their application. So it's definitely a slippery slope. We do have our own attorneys that we consult with around some of the projects that are more intensive, but I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. We totally push that on to our customers. But we have had customers that would say, "Hey, I need a terms and conditions document. Can you just give me one?" I'm thinking, well, I
Mm-hmm.
could, but you need to know what's in it, and
Right.
and you need to
Yeah.
make sure that you abide by it.
Yeah.
Also, the
Yeah.
Disabilities Acts, right? Manage and be viewed by those who have disabilities, whether
Yeah.
visually or otherwise.
Yeah.
That's also a big one that
Yes.
not easy to.
We have talked to a lot of customers about accessibility. It's something that's on people's radar screens, and the regulations have got more specific about that over the last couple of years for sure. So great point about the open source licensing. That is definitely something we've seen customers have concern about. And we do try to stick more towards those MIT, BSD type licenses than the GPL
Mhm.
flavors of the world.